Have you found yourself wanting to embrace more video for your social media marketing strategy, but perhaps you may have video phobia, fear of showing up on camera, or public speaking? Well, today we are going to be talking with Edie Clark, a video expert, on how to conquer your video phobia to embrace your on-camera presence. This is season 2 of Creator Confessions. Let me introduce Edie right now. Hello, Edie.
Hello, Janine. I'm so happy to be here. It's been too long since the last time we've spoken, so I'm glad to be here.
I know. I am really excited for today's conversation. So for those of you that are joining us live or replay, like I said, we are here today for episode 1 of Creator Confessions with Edie Clark, a remote video producer and YouTube strategist. So Edie, are you ready for us to get into the Creator Confessions?
Yes, let's get started.
All right. So the first question is this. Tell us a bit about who you are and what it is that you do, Edie. How did you get to be the epic video strategist that you are, extraordinaire that you are?
Well, my long story that I'm going to say very succinctly is I started when I was in the Virgin Islands. I think I was in high school when I realized that I had a love of television and video projects, and I wanted to work in the entertainment industry. So right out of high school, I ended up working at a local TV station where I learned editing. And that's when I first fell in love with video editing. And after working there, that then led to me working on projects for entertainment companies that were coming from California to film on location in St. Thomas. So I worked in casting for a bit on commercials as well as TV shows. And then I moved to New York and ended up working at a post-production company. And then from there, ended up eventually going out to California, where I ended my time in California working for Sony Pictures Imageworks, which is the visual effects division of Sony, and worked with an amazing crew of artists, because they were art directors and people like that. And my job was really to work with them on the projects that they were assigned to. When I came back to New York, I ended up working in a production company that I started with my husband, where we produced commercials. Well, we didn't produce them. We actually physically created the commercials for Cablevision. So they were cable commercials for local businesses that were here in New York. And then after that, I ended up starting my company Virtually in Sync, which is the company that I have today. And with that company, I started off editing, but then I eventually got into more strategy and helping my clients have a presence online and on YouTube, and specifically teaching them how to do it on their own, where they would be able to use simple and easy tools, and I could work with them to show them how they can go about doing that.
Simplifying the process. But making sure that they're independent in being able to use the tools, because I think that that's something that a lot of people do struggle with, especially now with the rise of AI. There's so much different tech and tools. You're navigating your camera phobia, and then you've got on top of that, you've got to learn all the different things. And I think what happens is a lot of business owners shy away because it's just too overwhelming. So I love that with what you're doing with your clients is that you're equipping them. Because that's what I'm definitely, so I'm high-fiving you on the equipping them, because that's so important. What has been your personal journey in overcoming video phobia? You know, none of us start at the top of the mountain. This is something that I have conversations with people regularly. They make the assumptions that, you know, I'm this super confident person, and it hasn't been an easy journey even for me. I want to pass that back over to you, Edie, in terms of your own journey. Thank you.
And I actually want to pick up on what you were saying, because I first learned of you on Periscope. And so that's eons ago. I actually thought, I was like, oh, she's like, this is old school for her. She's comfortable on camera. And that's the misnomer, I think, a lot about people that are on camera, is that the assumption is they're comfortable, when behind the scenes, in fact, they're not. And for me, I used to run away from cameras, whether they were still or moving. I didn't care what kind of camera it was. Do not put it in front of me. I was always in the back. If it was a group photo, you never found me in the front. You could barely see my head. I figured out fairly early, because I started as a video virtual assistant that basically edited videos for speakers. And so that was fine. I could be, nobody didn't need to see what I looked like. I didn't need to be present in my business. I figured I could still continue to hide. But what I realized was when I started to change, and that was really when YouTube started to become much more of a tool for businesses. It wasn't just this sort of wacky place where you threw up personal videos. That's when I realized, okay, I have to know what this is. I have to learn about it, and I have to test it out.
Yeah.
And the only way I'm going to be able to do that is to be able to create videos. So what am I going to do when I can't stand seeing myself on camera?
Absolutely.
And so the easy out for me was I was doing tutorial videos. All you needed to do is hear my voice.
Yeah.
And so I started off doing quote unquote faceless videos, which were tutorials on all of the different tools or platforms or software, whatever it was that I enjoyed using. And whether it was video related or business related, I was creating videos for that on my YouTube channel. Then I started to realize I needed to put my face on. So I would just pop in at the very beginning. Right. And then at the very end.
Yeah.
And then gradually I knew I needed to do more. So I did just rip the Band-Aid off. Yeah. And I then started to let myself be seen in the corner of the videos. And then eventually I started doing more thought leadership type videos where it was direct to camera and you could see me. And it does, I'm like you, I have to do my, deep breathing. I'm like, I'm good. Let's get this going. And people do tend to assume that you're comfortable, but I went through all of the fears, whether it's that you're fearful of judgment, you're fearful of how you're going to look, what are people going to say? Oh, they're going to think I'm a fraud. Imposter syndrome is real and huge.
It really is.
So I've had all of those issues.
What I love about what you've said is that, again, we didn't start at the top of the mountain. Mm-hmm. And often you start small. And that's something that I would say, well, I'm going to give you the platform to share. But essentially, it's about knowing where your starting point is, being okay with that, and knowing that it's fine to start small.
Yeah.
So whatever your capacity is, start in that place, right? Yeah. Don't feel like you have to be doing all the bells and whistles, because otherwise there's going to be that overwhelm, right, Edie? That overwhelm, and then you won't show up. So we're going to move on to the next question, which is, what have been the strategies that have helped you overcome the fear of being on camera?
I recommend to anyone else that has an issue with just the fears, whether it's a fear, because some people actually don't fear the camera. They're not concerned about the way that they look, and I had issues mainly because of the fact that I was overweight at the time. And I was like, nobody's going to listen to this fat chick. It was paralyzing in a lot of ways. But I do recommend that people just do it gradually. I think with the advent of shorts, you can do really short videos just to, get something out there. And you literally could be like a 15, 30-second video just so that you can get into the habit, because it's the habit of doing it is what makes it a lot easier for you to get over it. If you only do it once in a blue moon, then you're always going to have that fear every single time you do it. And it's going to make you uncomfortable and you're not going to want to do it again. So even if it's just shorts and you're only doing 30-second videos, do that.
Whatever it is, your capacity, start small and do that. But also make sure that you're consistent with doing that.
For sure.
So the next question is, what are the top 3 mindset shifts that you think were pivotal towards you, yourself, video?
One of the biggest ones that I had to do was to, I guess, for all intents and purposes, embrace my imperfections.
Yes.
So whatever it was that I didn't like about myself, I needed to just embrace it and say, look, this is who I am. I have something valuable to say, so I just need to get it out there and say it. And I was always amazed at the response that I would get, and people didn't point out the things that I thought that they would. They were more interested in the content that I was providing them with, because it was valuable to them. They didn't give a crap of what I looked like. Nobody ever commented on the way that I looked. And they were more interested in what I had to say. Definitely starting small by just doing what I could handle. And in that,
Yeah.
I wasn't necessarily as consistent as I could have been in the very beginning. But if you can be consistent as you're starting small, that's definitely important. And doing it scared, that is vital. I think we're not human if we're not scared, because even if you're comfortable, like you don't have a problem being in front of a camera, there are other reasons why people will usually have some form of video phobia, which is really just about the fear of what being on camera can do. So it can be that you can face judgment, you can face some sort of criticism, you can face the belief that others may feel or think that you're a fraud, or that you don't know what you're talking about. Why are you on here? There's all kinds of different types of ways or things that people can say. And if you put all of that in your head, that will paralyze you to the point where you won't do it. So I say, if you're scared, that's normal, and still do it anyway. Just because you'll feel so good once you've done it. Yeah, once you've done it. Because adaptability, I was reading this recently, and I've seen the term adaptability a lot this year. That is key to being able to step out of your comfort zone. And I think that we all are very used to whatever is our comfort zone. And so for a lot of us, not being on camera, not having to turn that camera on. So whatever you're used to and that you love to be cuddled in, that comfort zone, stepping out of that is key to you moving the needle in your business, moving the needle in you personally, because I see personal changes that also can happen from being able to step out of your comfort zone, be adaptable. Okay, now we need to start doing video. When I first started doing video wasn't a thing. YouTube was the only platform that was providing video. Then all of the other social media platforms followed suit. So it tells you, if we're sitting here in 2024, every single platform that exists, that social media is very video centric, then that means you need to be doing video. You can't avoid it anymore.
And I think that we have to also get out of our own way. How will you ever know what you're fully capable of if you're operating constantly in this place of fear or feeling like you need to be perfect? And I get it, because when we're looking at all of the lights, camera, action of video right now, it can be easy to get caught up in feeling like you're not enough. But one of the things that I want to say is the storytelling piece. At the end of the day, you are the author of your story. You know it like the back of your hand. And our stories often play a huge part in how we have come to be where we are. So why not start with sharing some of that? Number one, will help you to navigate that fear and to start flowing in your zone of genius and confidence. But it's such a great way to connect with people, because we relate to people through stories and experiences.
Storytelling is key, and showing and sharing that vulnerability is important too. And that's something that I suffered from for a long time. In the past couple of years, sort of opened up a little bit more and shared some of the fears and concerns and issues that I've been experiencing. If there's a way for you to be able to allow yourself, and like you were saying, you don't have to spill your guts and say every striking thing that has ever happened to you. But if you can just make yourself a little bit more human to the person that you need to reach. And the key thing for us, regardless of whether we're doing live streaming or we're doing pre-recorded videos or we're doing shorts, is that you need to be relatable to that target audience. You need to identify with that person and understand what their needs are. You know what their pain points are, so that you can provide them with the solution, whether it be through your experience or through the services that you offer. And that's the key component that I think a lot of times we're missing.
I want to ask you now, Edie, what are the key benefits of incorporating video for business owners into their marketing?
I believe some of the key benefits are that you are proving online that you're an expert. When people are searching for a solution and you're the person that provides that solution, you have video that's out there because YouTube is owned by Google, because YouTube is the second largest search engine in the world. It's going to pop up there if you are providing solutions to specific problems. So you can prove, because, you know, the truth is, anytime we meet people, whether it's even in networking, the first thing we do is Google them. Okay, what's their footprint? What are they doing? And if you have video, it's going to show up, and it's going to show up, especially if you are a provider of content that people are really interested in learning about and that's been beneficial.
Yes.
It definitely allows you to build trust with the audience, because again, when somebody is Googling you, let me see who this person is. And they're like, oh, they do it. Okay.
Yes.
This person, you know, and you have a history of that content, then that is definitely a way that they can now start to trust you. I think the benefit that can be for you personally, I kind of led with this or spoke about this a little bit, is that you tend to now believe yourself. You believe in your capability as a result of being able to provide this content, because the truth is, especially on YouTube, people will comment if your content is helping them. Yeah. And also you're providing yourself the things that you're doing. Like Janine, I told you I've been following her since Periscope. She's been an example to me on being able to be confident in front of the camera, specifically on live streams. So you never know when you're going to be influencing someone else that's coming up behind you. It's an opportunity for you to differentiate yourself from your competition, because what if your competition isn't doing video? So it's key for you to really utilize all aspects of video.
What you're saying is just really kind of just, as I said, if I could physically high five you, I'll be high five you. Let's move on to the next question, shall we? How has community and support helped you overcome video phobia, and why is that important? Because I know that when we spoke beforehand, you talked about how community really helped you to be able to show up. I'm really big on community. I talk about your audience, having an audience versus a community. Yes, you have to have an audience first to have a community, but the power in the growth is around community. So I want to pass this over to you. How has community helped you to overcome your video phobia?
It's helped in being able to provide feedback that, because, you know, when we're speaking in our heads about ourselves, we can say a lot of really negative things that can send us down a rabbit hole that is not a friendly or a nice place to be. And so to get honest feedback from your community that you've created this video and you think that it's helpful, or you hope that it is, and then you're able to show it to your community and they're able to say, yes, this definitely is helpful or beneficial to me, definitely goes a long way. You know, and seeing people do things that they're uncomfortable doing as well is extremely helpful too. And that led me to then start a group coaching and accountability program with my digital course, because I knew how beneficial it was for me. It's one thing to go through a course or to learn or to say, okay, I'm going to do this on my own, but it's another to then put it out there for the world to see and not have the support that you need, because that support allows you to stay consistent. And in addition to the issues that I had a lot of phobias. So besides just having the community, the support that I sought was therapy, and then having a business mentor also helped. So you need to seek others to support you. And so I think that you need to have as many support arms, if you will, so that you can get past those issues, because those are the things that are stifling you. Having video and using video is definitely something that can expand your business if you allow it to. And for those that are refusing to do it or are not comfortable doing it, that's an ability that is that you're losing that ability to share your business with others. Because the key thing that people need to remember about the beauty of video is that it lives on for a really long time. And so your content is out there working for you 24/7. And when I say content, I say specifically video, not social media. But your video content on YouTube is out there working for you 24/7. People can watch your videos at any hour of the day or night in any part of the world, and then be able to connect with you while you're sleeping or while you're doing something else. So that's a potential that you're losing out on if you're avoiding video. But if your issue is that you need support and community, then you need to seek that out. There are definitely, I'm sure, Facebook groups that I've been in a number of them over the years. that provide that kind of support, and you should seek that out in order for you to get over your phobias, if you will.
I think the accountability is key. And I also think coming alongside, so having that community, like you said, one of the things that I like to do in my programs is make sure that the program has interactive and practical elements to it, which I think when you're doing one-to-one, it's a bit harder because the person, your client, feels a bit like, oh my gosh, I'm exposed. It's me out here on my own. But when there's the group coaching stroke community aspect of it,
I love it.
Changes the trajectory of things, because not only it's not just you, and also I don't want to be the one that's left behind. All right, okay, let's rip this Band-Aid off. So I definitely think that I agree with you that anyone who is challenged, I don't like to say struggling because we don't struggle out here. If you are challenged with showing up, get that help and support, because if you're waiting, like I said earlier on, to feel like it's not going to happen.
Right.
And we know as well, video is evolving extremely quickly.
Yes,
you know,
it is.
Video of last year, 2020, forget it. It's not the same anymore. So you're going to continually feel like you're just getting further and further back. Don't wait, because like you've mentioned all the way through this session today, and I agree with you, is that it can be so transformative for your business if you look into it, if you allow it, and if you take some of the limits off and be willing, open-minded to trying different things as well. It definitely 1000%.
Yeah.
Next question I have for you is this: what do you think will be the top trends with video marketing going forward in 2024? Because we're seeing a lot of things that are happening, things that have continued from 2023. But what do you think is going to be the thing that does?
I don't know if there's any one thing, but definitely AI is here to stay, and it's only going to get incrementally better. Generative AI with the ability to create videos using prompts are definitely going to be a thing of not only 2024, but moving forward. So I don't know what that means in the relationship of how creative we can be with our videos, but certainly there are tools out there like InVideo or Kapwing where you can put in a prompt or a script, and it can create a video from curating B-roll or stock footage are going to continue and going to get better. But then there is tools like ChatGPTs, or should I say OpenAI's Sora, which allows you, or which we lay people don't have access to it yet, but you can put in a prompt and it can create the video. So I think that's going to be sort of something that we're going to be doing in the future. And then all of the other video tools that we have are just going to continue to expand their AI capabilities. There's going to be new companies that are coming out with capabilities of either adding in B-roll. I know I use Opus Clip. There are so many tools, I can't even mention them all, that are coming out that are going to make video creation and eventually also video marketing a lot easier, whether it's, TubeBuddy has the thumbnail analyzer, which is definitely a key in helping you figure out what's the best thumbnail that you should be using for your video. So that's just going to only get better, easier, and simpler as we move forward.
So interesting. A couple of things I want to say. As you said about TubeBuddy's A/B testing for thumbnails, today when I uploaded a reel on Facebook, the prompts came up that I was able to test a thumbnails. So I don't know when they released that or how new that is. And I actually tested, when you talked about the reading off a teleprompter and the eye contact, I tested the AI eye feature inside the Captions app. This is only going to get better. So absolutely. So much as some may have some discomfort around it, again, I would encourage, and I know you would as well, to just lean into it and just start looking at it. Even if you start with having an understanding of it.
Yeah, because it's here to stay, and it's not going away anywhere. And so to be blind to it and to ignore it, I think you're doing it at your peril.
Share one of your biggest challenges you've personally faced in growing your business and your brand brand, let me speak of your brand with video, because we have had challenges. I know people always like to talk about the highlight reel, but I like to keep it real, as in really real. The challenges do come. So for you personally, what?
Oh, totally. Well, obviously one of them that I had shared with you was being or allowing myself to be vulnerable. And that's sharing things about myself that I was not necessarily proud of or happy about, but I knew that it was an issue and I needed to address it. But the biggest challenge, believe it or not, Miss Livestream Queen, is live streaming. That was the biggest challenge for me. I had done it in the Periscope days. It literally scared me to death. I then started to do some more once Facebook Live came out.
Yes.
And then I would dabble in it here and there. But being consistent with live streaming was always a challenge until late last year. I challenged myself. And for the last week of October, ending on Halloween, I decided to just spur the moment. I did a live streaming challenge for myself where I was going to live stream every day. I'd never in a million years would have thought that I could be comfortable live streaming.
I love that.
For those that are like, well, that's you, that couldn't be me, I couldn't do it. One of the things that gets you into it is doing things like this. Whether you're doing it live as we are today, or they're doing it as a pre-recorded podcast or interview, that helps. Definitely, I think post-COVID, everyone is comfortable with, or should be more comfortable with being on camera, but definitely just allow yourself to get more comfortable on camera, whether it's in a Zoom, do a Zoom with a friend. What I used to say to people, because I actually used to do it just so that I could get a little bit more comfortable with live streaming. I don't even know if, I guess Facebook still does this, where you could live stream private. And so I always recommended just live stream private. The act of doing that will get you much more comfortable. And for me, the challenging part about live streaming was, unlike pre-recorded, I couldn't stop and start over. And so that was the thing that, because I'm a perfectionist at heart. And so if I didn't start a video properly, okay, let me start over again. And with live streaming, you can't. If you flub a line, if you mess up, you just gotta keep it rolling.
You've got to keep it going. But that's the beauty of it. I think as well with live stream, what a lot of people don't realize is that you don't have to have it all perfect. No one is actually expecting you to have it perfect with live stream. And I love that you challenged yourself to go live every single day. How long was that for? Did you do that?
It was probably for 8 days, I think.
I love that. And one of the things that I will say is that you will discover so much about yourself when you start live streaming, but you do it consistently. Not only that, you'll also learn the platform as well. And as you do that, you will discover a lot of things, find your own unique secret sauce that works really well. And you'll be rewarded with the community that you actually build. Edie, how can others connect with and follow you?
So you can reach me on my YouTube channel and as well as on LinkedIn. And again, it's Virtually in Sync. And then you can also visit my website, which is edieclark.com. And if you are interested in learning about different tools, I have a free replay of my Cast Magic workshop that I can give the link to Janine as well. And you can go on to that to see that workshop if you're interested in repurposing recordings.
Edie, do you have any final closing words of inspiration for the amazing individuals that are watching us?
Well, as Nike says, just do it.
I think that is a great way to close out today. Thank you so much, Edie.
You're welcome.
Really do appreciate you joining us today. Bless you, my friend. So guys, that was Edie Clark sharing with you how to embrace video, get over your video phobia. I want to remind you to connect with Edie. You can connect with her across the social platforms. Just make sure that you check out all of the links, check out the free training. We'll be back next week with another episode of Creator Confessions, another amazing business owner and creator sharing the good tea for life. We look forward to seeing you again next week. Have an amazing rest of your day. And thank you so much for watching. Take care.